Breaking news, the Jaguars continue to be active in free agency. They are signing, reportedly, Christian Kirk to a very big contract. Now, there's reportedly over $20 million a year that Kirk could bring in. But a lot of that, as Pete Prisco would say, is likely funny money. A guy that has not had a 1,000-yard season in his career, only has a handful of 100-yard games in his career, headed to Jacksonville, not for what he has done, but for what they hope he can do. Let's bring in Pete Prisco on a very busy day for the Jaguars. We'll get to some of those other moves in a second, but let's start with Christian Kirk. Social media losing their minds over the numbers that he could potentially bring in, but we still don't know all the details about the contract yet.
No, it's a 4-year deal, and the numbers that the agent throws out there, obviously they're going to be bloated and make it sound like he's getting $21 million a year, when the reality is, until you see the exact structure of the contract, you don't know. I would assume it's a 2-year deal, probably for $18-19 million a year, and they can get out of it after 2 years. But in any case, that's still a lot of money for a wide receiver, and I get it, I understand it, but that's the nature of free agency. Here's the thing about Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is 25 years old. His best football is ahead of him. And that's what you pay for in free agency. You don't pay for guys who are on the decline. You pay for guys on the rise. And I know people in that Arizona building who rave about the kid and think he can be a big-time player when he gets to his new team, which will be the Jaguars. So he works hard. He's a good kid. He loves the game. He's got the speed. And now Trevor Lawrence has what I think will be a guy who's going to be a really good receiver. Remember, most people had him ranked lower on their lists. No matter where he signed, I had him going into free agency as my number 12 player. That tells you what I think about him.
Number 12 overall. So we don't know for sure how much he's going to get per year. What's he worth in your opinion?
You're worth what they pay you, Chris. I mean, look, the market is out there. There were other teams in this. There were going to be teams that paid him close to what he got in Jacksonville. Now, there's always the perception in Jacksonville, for as long as I've been around that team, that they will have to overpay a little bit because people don't want to go there. It's not a destination spot, so you have to pay a little bit more to get guys to go there. So I'm sure it's a little higher than what he would have gotten somewhere else, but not that much more money in terms of what he would have received from some other team.
The Jaguars brought in Branden Sheriff as well, multi-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman. What do you think about some of the moves they've made as they begin the Doug Peterson era?
Well, I think they've been active on the first day, and they needed to be. I love the move to get Sheriff. I mean, I think when you look at Sheriff, he's a big power player, will really improve their run game. And again, this offseason has to be about making it better for Trevor Lawrence. They were bad on offense last year. The line wasn't good. They tagged Cam Robinson. He can come back and play left tackle. That means they don't have to draft one with the first overall pick. They can get a pass rusher in Hutchinson, but they also get Kirk to add to that offense. And then they go to the defensive side of the ball. Fatukasi is a really good run stuffer. And Olakun, I think what they're going to do with him, Mike Caldwell comes over from Tampa. And when he was in Tampa, they had Levante David and Devin White playing off the ball as off-the-ball linebackers. Both of them can fly to the football. And you saw what they could do in coverage and everything else. This kid is a coverage linebacker. Now you pair him with Miles Jack, gives you a lot of speed on the inside of that defense. So I think they're going to try and emulate what Tampa Bay did on that side of the ball on defense, and they're just trying to get better on offense with Trevor Lawrence.
Big moves on the first day that free agents are able to talk to other teams. That window opened at noon Eastern time, so we've seen a lot of moves throughout the NFL since noon Eastern. What more do you think the Jaguars should do?
Well, they need to get a tight end at some point. I know Dan Arnold was there. They traded for him last year. He was pretty good, but then he got hurt, major injury. So now they still have to get a tight end. I would personally go after Tyler Conklin from the Vikings. I think you can get him for a decent price. He's another one of those rising players, a guy who's not, the name, but actually has the game. And I think he'd be a good signing for them. They could still dive back into the wide receiver market depending on how it plays out. If there's a cheaper version out there, they might be able to go into there. But this is a deep wide receiver class in the draft, so they might just wait and get a couple, one maybe in the top of the second round, and then maybe one a little later in the draft.
Pete Prisco with us, spent many a year in Jacksonville covering the Jaguars and likes the moves that they've made today, most notably getting Christian Kirk to a big contract. Pete had him ranked number 12 in his list of the top 100 free agents in the NFL. Pete, thank you so much. Much more from the NFL from our Pick Six guys, your daily NFL picks with with Will Brinson. They'll also give you picks during the season. And I think one of their latest episodes, they're diving into the NCAA tournament as well. So a little bit of everything from the fellas.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.